Welcome back to Story Time with me, Miss Shalini. Today, I will be reading another story from the Panchatantra series, and the name of the story is The Cat's Judgement. Come, let's find out what kind of a judgment is the cat going to give.
A partridge lived in her nest on the ground beneath a large peepal tree. She lived there for many years. She was kind and friendly to all the little animals and birds. One day, the partridge left her cozy home and went out to look for food. She traveled far, and at last she came to a rice field. It was time for the harvest, for the rice was fully ripe. The partridge liked ripe rice very much. She stayed in the field eating as much rice as she could. She made friends with the other birds there, and time passed very happily. She did not return home that day, nor the next day, nor the next. She stayed in the rice field for many days. While the partridge was away, a rabbit found her empty nest. The rabbit had no home of his own, so he went to live in the partridge's nest and made it his home. He lived there happily for a number of days. When the partridge returned, she found her home occupied by the rabbit. She was very angry. "What are you doing here?" she asked. "This is my house." "Your house?" said the rabbit. "It is mine now. I have lived here for many days." "But you cannot stay here," said the partridge. "I built this house to live in. I have always lived here. You can ask the neighbors if that is true or not." "Why should I ask anybody?" replied the rabbit. "I found that nobody was living in this house, so I moved in. A house belongs to the one who lives in it, so it is my house now. You can ask the neighbors if that is true or not." "No, it is my house," cried the partridge. "I went away for a few days to find some food. Now I have come back. Will you please get out of my house?" "No, I won't," said the rabbit. "Here I am and here I stay." The quarrel between the partridge and the rabbit went on for a long time. Many animals and birds came and listened to the quarrel. They heard what the partridge said and they heard what the rabbit said, but none of them could say to whom the house belonged. They thought that the partridge and the rabbit should find out what the law was. So the partridge and the rabbit decided to take the case to a judge. It was not easy to find a good judge who would be able to decide such an important case. The rabbit and the partridge walked for miles and miles and for hours and hours looking for a judge. At last, they came to the bank of the river Ganga, and there, some distance away from them, they saw a big tom cat. They were frightened and stood still. They were both afraid to go near the cat because they knew how dangerous a tomcat could be. The cat saw them coming. He was a wicked cat. He quickly closed his eyes and stood up on his hind legs and held up his prayer beads. He then started praying at the top of his voice. The partridge and the rabbit were puzzled. They stood at a distance watching the cat. This was the first time they had ever seen a holy cat. How nicely he was saying his prayers, they thought. "I think we can ask this cat to judge our case," said the rabbit. Yes, I think so too, said the partridge. But still, we must be careful. A cat is our natural enemy. They stood in silence until the cat had finished saying his prayers. Then the cat opened his eyes and looked at them. Oh, holy sir, said the partridge, a little quarrel has arisen between this rabbit and me. It is about an important matter of law. Please be kind enough to judge our case. Whoever you find to be in the wrong, you may punish. Dear friends, replied the cat, do not say such a wicked thing. You know I can never bear to see others in pain. Yet you say that I should punish one of you? Those who do harm to others will be punished by God. Now do tell me what your quarrel is about. Then I will judge who is right and who is wrong. Well, this is what happened, said the partridge. I went away for a few days, and when I returned, I found that this rabbit had moved into my house. My house, shouted the rabbit. Now please keep calm, said the cat, and let me hear the whole story. So the partridge began her story again, and when she had finished, the rabbit said that what he wanted to say. The cat sat in silence for a few moments. Then he spoke. I am very old, he said. I cannot see or hear you very well. I have not quite understood your case. Won't you both come a little closer and tell me all about it again? Oh no, let's see what happens. By this time, the partridge and the rabbit had forgotten their fear of the cat. They fully trusted him. So they both moved close to the cat. And before they knew what was happening, the cat hit them both hard with his paws. Both were killed, and the cat ate them up. Now, the moral of the story is that we should sort our problems ourselves, rather than to go to someone who we don't even know very well. And then we land into trouble. Just like in this story, the partridge and the rabbit went to the tomcat for judgment, who instead tricked them and ate them up. So when we fight, someone else can take advantage of us. So let's not fight and be good.
That was sad, right? The partridge and the rabbit kept fighting amongst themselves and they lost their lives. So that is why I tell my friends, no fighting, especially with your brother or your sister. No fighting with your siblings. Be nice and be gentle to each other. Talk to each other if there is some confusion. And find a solution amongst yourselves. If you like my stories, remember to like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, because every Monday and Thursday I put new stories for you. And next time I will be reading The Loyal Mongoose. So until next time, bye.